Welcome to the channel, and what we're going to do is understand how Smart WebView works, and we're going to put Android Smart WebView into Android Studio and start working on it. This series is going to be covering all the development phases of Android Smart WebView, and slowly we're going to progress and add features along through this live. And this is the first video I'm putting online, so let's see how it goes. And in current session, we're going to understand how it works, a little history of it, how the configuration variables are important, and how we can configure them. So let's start with downloading the repo first. Just search for Smart WebView, and you'll get the result. Go to this link. I'm going to add this link in the description below. Actually, either you can Google it, or you can just find the link below in the description. Now you have to go to the releases. You can actually download the in development repo also. I have other branches, so you can also visit the latest development, and you can start working on it. But the problem is it might break or cause some problems, so better to start with the most recent releases, whatever they are. So 6.0 is the most recent release, and we are going to work on 7.0 now from this video onwards. And just download the source code. Once the source code is downloaded, open it in your finder, double click on it, it will just get expanded. Now you have the source code here. After download, you can browse the file in your Android Studio. I already have it here because I've been working on it. So just open project. Whenever you open a project, a fresh project in Android Studio, first it's going to download all the dependencies in the project. That's a fairly easy thing, and you don't have to do anything. And once all the dependencies are downloaded and build is generated, uh, one thing that I do, that I would suggest you to do also, you must clean the project. And once it's cleaned, you should rebuild it. This is the manifest file, and we're going to get in there's a main file here that you should look into for starters, and we'll run the application once we have gone through this. Okay, so we have a series of variables here. All these are configuration variables. That's what they are. And these config variables actually decide how your user experience is, more than the UI. There are few things that can be done to UI via these configuration variables, but majorly you have to do you have to work on its assets to change the interface, or upgrade, or do whatever you want to do with the UI. But these variables are the backbone of it. So there is a typical debug mode that you can on and see the errors and issues right away in the app itself, and it'll start throwing default Android errors, and even non-default also, the ones we have mentioned in the project. We have J script, F upload, cam upload. These two are important variables because most of the issues Smart Web users face is the camera and file system issues. We don't currently have that issue, but with every new update of Android, things start to break and fall apart. See, there is a this important variable called only cam. What it does is disables the file system upload, and when a user clicks to browse a file, it just opens the camera. In case you want to directly record a video in your app, so you can just enable this, and you can provide the extension, file extension. uh, we have it here, yeah. So we have it, ASWV. All these prefixes have their own meaning actually. Like we can see ASWV here, ASWR here, it's for rating. Android Smart WebView rating. These are variables, and we have here P is for permission variables, V for configuration variables. Well, all of these are configuration variables, but yeah, let's go along with whatever we have built for now. Slowly we can actually go get into the right path. Let's see how it goes. And okay, coming back to it, only cam. There's multiple file system. You can upload multiple files, or disable it to select just one single file. We also have a location option. You can fetch location. How it fetches the location? What currently we are doing is, when you ask for location permission from a user, there is a layer of technology that passes that information through. You're requesting user's location from the server end, or your through your local script. Once that request is made to the Smart WebView, now what it does, it sends the request to the native application. Once and it is also important that user has provided the permission to use the location. There is no direct way we can bridge the gap in between the native application and the servers and all that. We can create strings, we can send data through REST or other API formats. But when dealing with offline applications, things get tricky. And what we have to do is get into either REST mode, or we have to use cookies to save the day. Since the beginning of Smart WebView, actually, we are using cookies to store information, but I believe we have to change it soon enough. In the next version, possibly, we are going to introduce PQL, that's a paperless query language, and through that, we can store and manage micro information and maybe even photo blobs. We can do that, I hope. And currently, we're storing like user locations, some temporary variables, and some user informations. What are we storing? Yeah, like temporary URLs, URL changes and all. And if specific user has some specific request that they want to use, mainly temporarily. So all the temporary, we can say all the temporary information is stored in cookies, and is shared between user and the system. That's how an information is exchanged currently in Smart WebView. But hopefully, once we have introduced a database system, it will be able to do a lot more information storage and permanent storage. There will be, and there'll be a lot fun. We're going to build it in this live, in next live session in the series. We are going to do it. We're going to cover it and build it together. We're going to hustle line by line and cry whenever needed, because that's something we also need. So there is copy paste also. So you can enable copy pasting within the web view. Like some native applications do not allow selecting certain texts or images, because if a smart user is able to select or drag or move text or images within the web view or frame, they'll know it's a web application. And it's very clear in that case. So you have to disable. That's my opinion. You have to disable, but in some cases you could enable it, or you can make it dynamically enabled or disabled through particular pages or fragments. So once disabled, user will not be able to copy any content from the From the page itself, by default it is disabled, and you can, according to your needs and requirement, you can enable it or make it dynamic. So there's pull fresh. What pull fresh does is that's drag and release refresh that you see in browsers. You can have it in your app or not, to make according to your user experience. That's how it goes. Then there is ASWB P bar. That's a progress bar you can add. That's also a browser thing that's enabled for now, because we are mostly in the debug mode. So what I believe, we can avoid it in the next version. By default we can put it in false. And there is zoom, that's definitely should be in false mode always actually. And then there's ASWP zoom, you should better keep it disabled, because the reason of not enabling it, it will clearly give it away that your application, your your user experience will be ruined to some point, because they're just going to feel it like they're in the browser, and it can make experience really horrible to some extent actually. Okay, so there is sform. Sform is to remember your information. It's autofill that you see in browsers typically. Keep it false, also browser thing. Better user experience if not enabled. And then there is AWP offline. What it is it's a complete chapter in itself, and what we are going to do is cover it completely in a different stream, or maybe a video. And basically what it is, it enables you to build or keep your offline applications and use them in the app as a native app. Like building a game, you can build games on HTML 5 and CSS3, or and there are lots of other kinds of applications that you can build offline with with the help of JavaScript, and you can keep them in the app and it will behave as a native app. Okay, so AWP ext URL, what it does, uh, it checks whether the user has clicked on a link is external or internal. Internal means you have an online website that you want to convert into a native app with the Smart WebView. Suppose I have my website mgks.dev, and I have a GitHub link on the website. Now a user clicks on the GitHub link. If I have external URL enabled, what happens is that that external link, that GitHub, opens in either, depending on AWP tab, whether it opens in the app within itself or it goes into the default browser. But for your internal links that you have mentioned here, AWP URL online, whatever the domains like apps.mgs.dev is mentioned here. So whatever the domain, base domain is mentioned there, is going to be opened within the app itself. So when a user clicks whatever link inside mgks.dev, he's going to be redirected within the app. But whenever the user clicks on any link that's not mgks.dev, it'll be sent to this conditional loop where it'll be checked, and based on whatever your parameters are, like if you have made it true, it'll open it in your browser or in your tab, that's also true. And there is add mob, you have add mob enabled or not. Google AdSense. Okay, so there's ASWP Xstyle, and what it does is actually gives a confirmation dialogues. If user keeps on pushing back within the app, it asks whether they want to exit it or not. It's an old thing actually. It's not very not very today thing. I guess we'll get rid of it in the next version. But let's see. HWP cert verification is important because some websites have these resources that are not secure. Suppose mgs.dev is loaded in HTTPS. in a secure port, but it asks for an image that's not coming from a secure port. So what happens is, how WebView works, that's a completely Google's flaw there. They have not fixed it, so we have to go around like this. So what happens is, your application breaks. It simply breaks, and you can't do anything about it. So what you have to do is find a workaround like this. So we have put false there, and what false does is, it helps us bypass that requirement, and it does not breaks the website. So we load mixed content into the web view, and website works fine. And you have to do that actually, because loading a mixed content is not by default allowed. So there is ASWV orientation. That's how you rotate the screen, and it goes from horizontal to vertical mode. And there's layout. ASWV URL online is an important variable, because you mention your website or application domain here, and in URL offline you can put an asset file name if you want your application to be offline. And there is this conditional thing that you do not have to worry actually. Yeah, I don't know why do we have it here. So there is also an interesting thing that's called AWV search. Suppose your website has a specific search page or query string that you want in your drawer interface. Suppose that search option can be optimized to work accordingly to your website or app or service. If you not have that, that's completely okay. You can disable it, or just add some option. Like I have added Google search, but that's not a very viable option. Also, there is share URL. Suppose your app is a social media app, or some kind of app where users can paste or share links to your app. So what you can do is share your custom link. You can add your custom link where the shared extension of the URL will be added after this string, or whatever. You can change this completely, you can change this completely, you can add Facebook's share tab or whatever. You can add your custom website. That's completely fine. Okay, so there's a exception list. These links are going to be opened within your web view. You're going to allow them or not, whether you want them to be opened within the web view, or they're just going to behave like any other website, to be opened in your external browser or within your web view tab. So this exception list is that I have added github.com. You can see that's all. And there's postfix user agent, override user agent. There is your custom agents, then you can provide them, and whatever you can keep here according to your. There's a file type that we have talked about earlier. You can specify it to select just the images or the PDFs or the videos or whatever convenient for you. It will select just that file. If there is select all type, and it's free to choose any file, but if there is a condition in the program that it has to pick just the images, just the camera file, or just the video file, it will be modified on demand dynamically. Okay, so these are the rating variables, and after how many days you want the rating to appear, and how many times at max in its complete lifetime, once installed, you want the dialog to appear or to be ignored, that you kept bugging the user, and the interval of how many days, like uh, yeah, and I guess you understand that now. All right. So these are internal variables, and we're not going to talk about them right now, but we'll cover them for sure in the next video. Now what we are going to do is run the application for once. I have already built a device, virtual device, and we're going to run it on API 33. That's uh, that's available in market. 34 is still uh, in development, and by the time of this video, it's still in development. And I'm going to just give you a quick overview how it is configured. There's nothing special in it, just a simple uh, AVD. Nothing is added as much. Just internal storage of 2048 SD card. There is a 2 GB RAM exception though, just to keep it fast. Actually, there's nothing else. And okay, now we have ran it. Let's see how it goes. Oh, we already have our. Oh, it's not even 33. It loaded itself into 31. Canary build is something new actually. I don't remember Hedgehog. What version? What version of Android Studio is this? So this is Canary 5 Iguana. All right. So our application is run. Build is successful. There is no error as of now. I know there are some issues that users have reported. Um, that's going on. I'm actually going to free this window. We can place it in the center and we can just run the application. Okay, so there's a basic interface. Very basic interface, and I don't think it's. Oh, let's see that pull to fresh option. Now you can just select file or however you have mentioned in your Smart WebView script. Just select the file. Do I have any file? No, there is no file here. So what we're going to do is capture. So what we are going to do is capture the image. There is an option called hold the shift key and drag. For a long time I had no idea this could be done. I can actually change the space and take a picture. And here we go. It is completely fine for now. Things keep falling apart very easily. And for the camcorder, see, you can see here it says camera camcorder because we have specified in the program to select just for the video files. And even in that, either we want to select the camera file or just the files, just the video files, I mean, that we have also mentioned, whether we want to select the video file from the file browser or the camcorder itself. What we can do now is record a short video, shift hold and move it. Now let's see, did it work? What? Let's give it another try. Recording, stop. It's it's the wish of the machine. I don't think we can do anything about them. They have their own wishes when they want to work or or not? Come on, man. Just work for once. Okay, it was working yesterday. I don't know why it's not working now, but it will work. Uh, GPS location also works, but not right now because we have some permission issues, and this is the complete beta build. This is just preview. Whatever you're watching uh, is not released yet. We are going what we are going to have is plugins actually. I'm working on it, and maybe we are going to work on it throughout this session, these sessions, not current one, but okay. Let's let's close this video by here itself, and this was my first stream. It is going to be edited because there are so many errors and issues. I have fumbled so many times in this video that you may not see in the final cut, but they're there. I hope these videos improve in coming future. I hope these videos improve. I hope these videos are going to be okay. 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 I'm going to leave some bloopers, I guess. I'm going to broadcast this, but this is not live, and I hope you got maybe a limited idea, but you got some idea how Smart WebView works because it's been a long time. People have been asking me to make a documentation over it, some video tutorial over it. So yeah, I guess we're going to do it this way, and I hope I'll be able to make good videos so I can actually host a live session with you guys, and or not have to have these jump cuts. I guess that's all for today. See you guys next time. Bye bye.